You're such an asshole.
Morning, children. We do the asshole consulting now so that Cappy can go and play in the Black Hills for the entire freaking day. Plus, it's chilly outside, and I want to wait for it to heat up. Guys, you need to follow the instructions. This girl did not follow the instructions. Oh, yeah, I did pay. It is very precise. Every word is exactly chosen when I send you your email response. And if you do not follow it to the precise letter, then there's a delay. No, when are you going to get to my video? Did you email me in form? Did you read? Oh, I didn't read it. And then that's when Cappy breaks out the stupid tax and we start charging you more. Now I got to go find... Okay, hey Cappy, just listened to your recent podcast. Have you ever shared your thoughts on why leftist places tend to have higher wages, booming economies relative to conservative areas? Been listening to you since I was first year med student, now my second year of residency with 5 years left. Oh, hope all is well, and we'll keep you anonymous. There's an element of truth and there's an element of not truth to this. You would be inclined to believe that leftist areas have booming economies as opposed to conservative areas, but you're looking at the two extremes where it's like, okay, yeah, compared to rural America, which is quote-unquote conservative, the country, basically farming technology has really cut into the number of people needed to farm agricultural areas. I mean, I remember a buddy of mine, he came, East Indian guy, kind of interesting fellow. His job was to program these huge industrial farming combines, tractors, to pilot themselves using satellite and GPS. And so, yeah, early to bed, early to rise, the farmers go out, milk the cows, or whatever the saying is. But now, dude, the farming is you press a button, it fires up the tractor, the garage opens, and it just does the plowing for you. Not to say farmers don't work, and they're not milking cows, but there's been a lot of automation, so that economy is no longer, quote, booming, compared to completely new segments of our industry, namely social media and big tech, which we compare to Silicon Valley. So yes, in that truly black and white type of comparison, it would look like, oh, the leftist towns are booming and the rightist conservative areas are dying. That's not really true. You also have to, aside from what's sexy or new, Wall Street is another perfect example. New York City is leftist. I don't think a lot of guys on Wall Street are leftist. Some are. Well, they're more opportunistic. But you could look at that, when there was the dot-com boom, the financial boom now, then there was that housing crisis. It looks like, oh yeah, the cities are growing by leaps and bounds liberally. That's where the booming economy is, and the conservative areas are not. But to counter that, there are conservative areas that are not agriculture that are growing, namely manufacturing and other services. And I would point to Florida, which is in part growing because they are getting capital flight and brain drain going their way. Florida is basically pulling all the talent and the work and the productive people out of New England, the old dying. I mean, if you are a young man or woman and you're in New England, get the fuck out. Forget taxes. It's cold. Fuck the snow. Go south. Florida's wonderful. I mean, a lot of young people down in Florida. Again, you guys know I love Tampa and St. Petersburg. But getting back to my point about the differences in economic production, Florida is growing way the fuck faster than your average New England state. Not in terms of population, but the economic growth. And so Florida's booming. Texas would be kind of the West Coast version where companies and manufacturers are fleeing. California, Oregon. I mean, even, Boeing is itching. They were itching to get out of Seattle. And they're going to set up shop in Georgia. I know, even though this isn't West Coast, Minnesota, Anderson Windows, guess what? They were boom. They're growing. They did not open up new shops in Minnesota because fuck Mark Dayton, fuck Tim Waltz. They said, we're going to go, guess where? Texas. Then they also went to Winnipeg, I think. And they had another facility somewhere else. Vegas, Nevada is another example of capital flight and brain drain, where even Google itself is setting up a new campus in Vegas. You have capital flight. People are escaping California into Las Vegas. Disproportionately productive people, leaving the parasites and the welfare bums behind, going and even to Idaho or Montana and all these places other people are complaining about. Phoenix is another example. So I know what you see on the television where it's like, oh, the liberal places have booming economies and the conservative places are stagnant. That's because you're looking at the two extremes, which you are correct. Yes, Silicon Valley is booming. Seattle, with Amazon and Microsoft, they're booming. But that's two very localized and two specific industries. Comparing it to, quote, your stereotypical conservative howdy-doody America in Kansas. Well, yes. But if you look at more of a macro level and not just the sexy technology industry versus the boring conservative, the conservative states are growing faster than your liberal ones. Now, you have to provide a caveat for that. And it also depends on time. Like if we went back to the housing crisis starting in 2008, California was just sucking dick. Their housing market was collapsing. Even if technology was growing, the housing was countering that. So back then, it would have looked like the liberal states were losing ground and economics. But there certainly has been a recovery. There is a boom in technology and online shopping in Amazon and Microsoft and Seattle and San Francisco or San Jose. So they are growing, but that is more, and this is just my thoughts, where you see that assumption or where you see it actually become true on a micro level is because new industries grow the fastest, the ones that are most successful. They also fail the most too, but inevitably, once a new technology or a new industry comes along, it's going to have exponential growth. It's going to beat the growth of any other industry out there. And what the type of people who usually populate these industries are young people. And you absolutely know, you have come to know me that there will be no lack of me complaining about gray hairs, of which I'm becoming one. But the baby boomer generation and old fuddy-duddies and stagnant, they call them dinosaurs. In Japan, it was called zombie corporation, where these people have no intelligence, no innovation, no creativity, and they are simply not intellectually capable of creating a booming industry or a new technology or having the vision of Steve Jobs to say, this is the way we got to go. Young people do. Young people have that. And especially when you combine that with technology and you give them a STEM education, liberal or not, they are the ones that are going to see the newest opportunities. They're on the vanguard of science and development and innovation and technology. And they are the ones to come up with the smartphone, with internet technology, with 5G. However, because they're young, they are also going to be disproportionately liberal and leftist. And so you will see, especially among IT, science, stuff like that, young people will be the innovators, creators on the ground floor of these new industries. They will be booming economically. But because, and this is what it is, and I'm terribly sorry, my fellow STEM, well, I'm not STEM, to all you STEM, science, engineering, really smart kids out there, you're not smart enough to be not brainwashed, and you all were. And just read my article, what was it, The Silicon Valley Slaves, or How Silicon Valley is the success of socialism. It is amazing to me, especially to young men, but women too, how you guys can't wait to to work in Silicon Valley. When, if you calculate what you pay in taxes, what you sacrifice in terms of commute, and I would also argue this is a little bit harder to do, and it's just an estimate, but what you pay in rent, had you not had leftist policies, which I would consider to be a tax or at least a regulatory cost imposed upon you by your socialist ideology you all like, I'm amazed how you guys sign up for that shit. You willingly become a slave, what I estimate to be, on the low end, 50% of your life. 50% of your working life is spent supporting, there's some money that goes into infrastructure. But they are, at least half their day, veritable slaves to other people, paying for other people's give-me-dats. And it's sad. It's sad. You try and wake them up, like, you are a slave. Stop voting for socialism. You busted your ass off. You're working your ass off. And a lot of these people just don't get it. They don't get it. They'll still bust their ass off because it's prestige. I'm in New York. I'm in Wall Street. I'm in Silicon Valley. I'm in the Tech Triangle Corridor, which is over in Raleigh. And they'll still slave away, man. Because they have been brainwashed. They swallow the Kool-Aid whole, man. And they're really good on the science and the math, even the innovation, but they are not good on the independent thought and thinking and philosophy. So you will have people, and you see this a lot in California, where lawyers are like this too. They will bust their fucking ass off, and then they'll become successful, and they will make the 6 figs. And you're going to see it too. If you're in medicine, I almost guarantee you will see this. That's probably the worst case, where you poor doctors, you guys are doing your residency and your intern, and after 10 more years of education and $300,000 of medical debt, you guys are going to go vote away half your damn income, or some of your colleagues are going to go vote away half their damn income, because that's what you're brainwashed to do. So what I think, in part, you're not seeing, you're looking at cities, Silicon Valley is beating Wichita, Kansas. So, well, yeah, duh. But if you look on a more of a nationwide macro level and look at states and population flows and brain drain and which gross state products are growing more, and again, it depends on the years and all that. Your conservative states, there is a general flow of at least population from leftist shithole states, also in part due to cold and shitty weather. Never discount that. I won't say it's all economics. And then there's also capital flight, where people are leaving California. What was it? It's not sexy news stories when Anderson Windows, when Anderson Windows decides to open up a plant in Texas. It's not sexy when Boeing decides to open up a widget facility in Georgia. It's got to be more like when, this did make news, when Medtronic basically said, fuck off, America. We're doing a corporate inversion. We're going to Ireland. We're not paying your goddamn taxes ever again. That makes news when you move a corporate headquarters, because then all the parasites, they're taking our money. What am I supposed to do? Get a job? How am I supposed to have 18 illegitimate children? I just want to lie on my back and breed all day and then blame it on white people for my poverty. I need their money. Give me that. That will make the news. But when you have jobs, or like a little bit here, a little bit there, it's not a corporate headquarters, or it's not a sexy, if Google decided to move their headquarters overseas, which I think they actually have if you look at corporate inversion. Was that Apple? I forget which one it was. It's a quiet escape. It's a quiet and it's not sexy when a shoe manufacturing company goes to Arizona, but that's 300 jobs that the other state didn't get, and so in other words, it's more of a phenomenon of news coverage is where you see liberal towns growing faster than conservative towns, which actually probably is true, like towns, but state-wise. Dude, Florida is beating the shit out of New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, I don't even know what the fuck Rhode Island does. Nobody does. They're just like, I drove across the state in an hour. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maryland, all those, fuck that. And California, I mean, dude, even Californians don't like living in California. Yeah, okay, good. You got Silicon Valley. You also got shit in your streets. Okay, have fun. So, all right, so that's it. Yeah, I'm real curious. You'll probably see that the young people. I'm real curious, medical students, like how they vote. That's a testament to brilliant leftist brainwashing. If they get medical med students to go that much into debt and slave away and work that much, and then med students vote to have like half or more of their money taken away. That is amazing to me. So, all right, questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Links to all my cool shit down below. Cappy going to do some more asshole consulting, and then he's going to go hike and enjoy the Black Hills. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.